Good afternoon, this is Reagan. And I have a question that I want to ask. Who do you consider to be the best teacher in your life? What have they done for you that you started to believe in that way? I believe most students would say teachers would give easy A's or are funny in class. Who doesn't like teachers who give free A's or those are funny in class? Of course, I do love those type of teachers. However, that's not what I'm asking. The best teachers are those who can help us to get onto the right path. A teacher is an individual capable of offering guidance and support during moments of struggle in learning, steering students onto the right path so they can acquire knowledge in various situations. The best teacher provides extensive learning opportunities and experiences. I first came to Valor in 6th grade. Back then, it was a small international school that had just opened on a small mountain top in a countryside in South Korea. I was struggling to focus, and I didn't quite understand the purpose of school. Despite my below average grades, my pre-algebra teacher, Mr. Kim's class, stood out as a source of motivation. It wasn't just about learning. He made every lesson feel like an adventure. He wasn't afraid to use different technologies and resources and always tried to bring something new to the class. One day, he introduced us to a game called Prodigy, which transformed learning into a fun game intellectual discovery. This method worked for me because I started to consider math entertaining. Ultimately, I found myself having fun solving problems. Mr. Kim motivated me to excel. What set Mr. Kim apart was his understanding of students trying to think from our perspective. He tried to better understand what was going through our minds, and he introduced different ways to make learning fun. When he found a way, he kept experimenting so that we wouldn't lose our interest or focus. Unlike other teachers I had met, he treated us with kindness, seeking to understand each student. This caring attitude is why I looked up to him as both a teacher and a mentor. He created a safe space where he understood and cheers on and built a decent connection with us. In the second trimester of 7th grade, I left for Queens, New York, where my cousins lived to study in the United States. I still remember my parents worrying about me because they were questioning whether I could take care of myself. I found myself in New York, a city I'd only seen in movies, with tall buildings and the Statue of Liberty. However, the reality was much different. I attended a public middle school. The teachers seemed to like me, but I struggled to get along with others. I just couldn't fit in. And the worst part was that I couldn't speak freely or understand fully. One day, when I was practicing basketball, some high schoolers came up to me and asked if they could use my ball to play basketball. I was intimidated at first, but I let them play. They're disrespectful and kept playing with the ball, making me almost watch them play. And that's when my grandmother was sitting on the bench, came in and scolded the high schoolers and took the ball away from them to give it back to me. I felt an instant. She was my supporter, family, and a teacher. She didn't try to take me home right after the event, and she asked me if I wanted to play more. When I said yes, she stood by me to see me practice. The high schoolers kept saying something, but they soon left. But what I want to point out here is that a great teaching moment doesn't only happen in school or a classroom. We learn from our experiences in whatever we do. My grandmother taught me how to stand up for myself and how to show grit and strength. She also taught me the valuable lesson of helping someone and what it means to be with them during their most embarrassing or tough times. I came back from Queens. And I kept in touch with Mr. Kim, even after he left Valor. You have been searching for opportunities that the students might like, and has been finding the best summer camp options for this year. Mr. Kim asked me if I wanted to attend summer camp in Canada. At first, I was not interested because I did not want to be thrown in a situation where I was not used to it. However, he kept persuading me and that this opportunity would change my life. The flight ticket was booked, and I was more or less forced to go there. The environment where I grew up and people in Canada grew up is so different, which is why the reason I was scared to go. Stepping out of my comfort zone was not an easy thing. I could not have done this by myself. I was able to do that because of the support of my mentor. I was there in Canada, having no idea what I was doing. Everyone seemed to close to each other, and I did not see a single thing between them. We all went camping in Algonquin Park for an outdoor trip. Even there, I was not able to talk with anybody because I was the only person who came from Asia at the time. At least, that is what I thought at first. As our group activity, we had to make a skit. And that was something I would never do if I were not in the camp. Some people might think I'm naturally a speaker, which is the reason why I'm standing here to talk with you guys. But I'm not. The person standing here right now is here because all the experiences I have had so far. That was when I decided to step out of my comfort zone. And why do I try something new? Isn't that the whole reason I came all the way from Korea to Canada for this summer camp? You know what? Let's do that. And I started to do something. But I don't quite remember what I was doing. At least at the time. But after that, I could tell that something was different. And it was the moment where my perspective changed. Kids were not talking to me because I was not talking to them. In fact, I didn't even try to talk to them because of the thoughts I had in my mind. Prejudice has been blocking me from trying something new. Having a perspective on something is very natural as human beings, right? And we all do that as humans. But have any of you ever consciously tried to shift your perspective? Have you ever attempted to understand a situation even when it seemed confusing at first? Changing perspective isn't always an easy skill. It's not about an inability to change, but rather a lack of awareness and how to go about it. Before jumping into saying or doing something, why not take a step back and reframe the whole situation? For instance, imagine you're working on a challenging project at school or work. Initially, you might see it as an overwhelming task, being stressed about deadlines, potential difficulties. This perspective could lead to reluctance or a sense of dread. Now, let's consider reframing the situation. Instead of viewing the project as an overwhelming challenge, try to see it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Approach it with a mindset that each step, even the difficulties, is a chance to develop new skills and knowledge. This shift in perspective can transform the project from a source of stress to a meaningful learning experience. By reframing, you not only can change your outlook on the test, but also open yourself up to seeing the positive aspects and potential opportunities within the challenge. So, when we talk about the best teacher, it's that person who helps you see things differently. Or maybe even a moment that just flips the switch in your head and changes your mindset. From the kid who did not even know how to stand up for myself and know the importance of studying, I am now here standing in front of all of you to share my life story. So, here's to those special teachers who make learning an exciting journey. To those who understand us beyond textbooks and who, without even realizing, change our perspectives for the better. We thank you. So, who is the best teacher in your perspective? And how will you become one? Thank you.